Hi, this is Chris from vKernel, here to give you an overview of our Chargeback appliance. Chargeback is an easy-to-use solution that enables IT managers to accurately map virtualization cross against applications, users, business units, pretty much however you want to logically segment your environment. It provides business-level visibility and reporting on actual consumption of expensive server and storage resources by application, virtual machine, and business group. How it works? Really simple. It installs as a pre-built, pre-configured virtual appliance that you run on your ESX environment. We then attach up to either Virtual Center or vCenter if you want, or, as well as any individual ESX host, which is where we grab all of our configuration and performance data. We then store that data in a backend SQL database and do a lot of complex analysis on that data. For example, we profile each application workload or virtual machine, its consumption of memory, CPU, storage, network. We then enable the user to define different costs for those resources as well as specific groupings of virtual machines. And then we automatically generate reports that show the cost allocation or the usage of each business group. That's really how it works. I'll show you that as we go along here. So in a pre-virtualized data center, it was pretty strict rules where you had one application per server, so it was very easy to track IT costs. When you start in having a virtual infrastructure, you have VMs moving from one host to another, or a host is shared by many virtual machines, it's harder to determine how to break up those physical costs. So what you do is you essentially make a group of virtual machines. So over here on the left, you can see I have three different categories. I have my virtual environment, which is where I read in the data from Virtual Center or the ESX hosts. I then have custom groups. So I can then take any host, any VM, whatever I want to, drag it into any group. What that does is that assigns the resources from those VMs to that particular group. We then measure how much resources this group of virtual machines actually uses. So if we expand this out here, you'll see that I actually have 3 virtual machines that are part of this group. I can go in here, and by the way, I can group these based on existing folders, resource pools, however you want to logically segment your environment. We can pretty much read all that in. If I go here into edit rates, this is what I'm charging essentially for each gigahertz of CPU, each megabyte of memory, each gigabyte of RAM, and kilobytes per second of network. And it's very easy to determine these costs. If you're not sure what to use for rates here, we have a chargeback calculator on our website that will walk you through what you spend on the hardware and how much you need to charge per each individual rate. Okay. So at this point, I have a group of virtual machines with a cost structure associated with them. I can then go and create my business level groups. So for example, my database customers. My engineering, my Microsoft, whatever it is, I can take any of these groups, and let's say SQL is part of my database group. I can drag and drop it right down into there. That means that all the resources used by that group are assigned to that particular business level unit or customer, and let's say that development is part of my database group as well. Okay. I can then go and schedule an automatic report to generate these costs. So for example, I could right click here on a group called example, or let's just do engineering here, that would probably be better. Chargeback report, generate for today. So we'll look at how much resources the engineering group used today, or this week, this month, whatever time period you want to assign there. It's very easy to do this. So at the top up here, I have the name of the business level group, which is engineering. The individual custom groups or groups of VMs that I have right here, and the host and VMs. I then get a detailed accounting of exactly how much resources those particular groups used. So my MSCG group used 0.12 gigahertz of CPU, 15 cents, etc. You'll notice in here that I have other costs, antivirus, my Windows 2000 costs, cooling, backup. You have the ability within this product to add any custom fields that you want as well. So I can essentially capture all the costs associated with virtual machines, not just the straight utilization. And then, as I mentioned before, I can right click here I can go down to Chargeback Report, and I can also do this automatically. So I can set up a PDF or CSV report that runs every day, every month, sends this data out to whoever needs it. So really, that's all there is to Chargeback. It's a very simple virtual appliance that lets you report on usage of resources by individual virtual machines or group of machines. One of the key benefits is just providing key business users with reports that show resource consumption by application as well as group, and see the cost based on actual resource consumption. That's what we do. So anyway, I'm Chris from vKernel. This is an overview for Chargeback. Hope you found it really useful. Thank you.